Welcome to Business Talk with Meghan McNulty, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of business success and reveals the strategies, insights, and stories that drive these professionals to thrive in the ever-evolving world of business. Whether you're an established entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or simply fascinated by the world of commerce, this podcast is your front row seat to learn from the best. Each episode, Meghan will bring you engaging interviews with professionals from diverse industries who will share their triumphs, lessons learned, and the insights they've gained along the way. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, everybody, I have Melissa from Fuelbar here today, and I'm going to ask her about being a business owner and how she started her business. Can you tell us about Fuelbar and what inspired you to start it?
It's kind of left field, but I was an engineer, and the owner of the company wanted to kind of bring commodity to, the whole team, and he asked me to put together a wellness program. And when I did that, I saw so many coworkers having life changes where it ignited a light in me, and I got really excited about it, and I kind of felt like this was the path that I needed to go. And so I slowly stepped out of engineering, and then I started Fuel Bar.
Amazing. So I go to Fuel Bar every week and I purchase my meals from you, and it's made a huge difference in my life. Basically, it allows me to make sure I'm eating healthy. I don't have to worry about like cooking my food because that takes up time. I'm super busy during the week, so it's just one more thing I don't have to worry about. I'm not grabbing like fast food that's not necessarily healthy for me. I've lost a lot of weight doing your program, so it's amazing, and I have my family members on it as well. So basically, this company that you were working for, they wanted to have people to have better health and take care of themselves, and that's what sparked it. And did you find that, like, how did you identify that we needed a meal prep service? Like, people are just like not cooking their food anymore or not eating healthy?
I have a sweet tooth, and I'm very picky about where my ingredients come from. Not necessarily like if it tastes good, but I want to make sure that it's like wholesome ingredients and quality ingredients because I had a very sensitive stomach. So I started baking, and that started taking off, and it was actually called Fresh From Me to You. And then my clients were like, well, I can't, like, I love your baked goods, but I can't live off of muffins and brownies. So I kind of just honed in on my cooking skills that I got from my dad and my mom growing up. I grew up in the Midwest, so family dinners were very important. And my dad's like the typical Midwest dad where he has like, the green egg, and he has the grill, and then he has another grill for only other specific meat. And it just kind of brought back like memories from growing up. And it was also kind of hard moving out to California because I don't have any family out here. And I just started cooking and asking people if they wanted meals, and they did. And so I was working out at the gym that Fuel Bar is next to, and I saw them putting together the store, and I thought that they were going to have a smoothie bar there, but I found out that they were renting it out. So I said, well, it's time to take the next step, and I reached out to the owner and I rented out the smoothie bar. 4 years later, we're still up and running.
Amazing. So how did you develop your initial business plan?
Gotta be honest with you, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really have like a plan. I mean, I think I did what every other person wants to do when they start a business. They Google it. Then they start talking to, other people that have businesses. And I kind of flew by the seat of my pants for the first year because I really wanted to see if it was even going to turn into what it has turned into. And thank goodness it did. Now I have like a professional business plan.
So you just took action and made it happen, and now it's kind of developed into a plan to make sure that you can sustain it and all that. Right now you have to like buy all the ingredients, cook the food, and then deal with all the customers coming to either get their food or getting the food to the customers. Do you have most people picking up the food from your store, or do you have it delivered?
I would say now delivery. The POS I use, the system offers like an on-demand delivery. that's kind of what sets us apart because a lot of meal prep companies, they are very strict on, okay, they deliver on Sundays or Mondays. And typically, the majority of them, they only deliver once a week. So a lot of my clients were wanting the meal 7 days a week, and a meal's not going to last 7 days a week if it's cooked only once. As soon as you go online, it asks you if you want pickup or delivery. You could pick what day, what time you want it delivered. We just we have a grab and go section. So it's not as regimented of a schedule as typical meal prep companies. And I think that's why we attract kind of the more on the go business owners. They're not really sure about their schedule, or they're in the office and then they're out of the office and they don't want to commit to a weekly plan. So we try to be very flexible on that nature.
How far will you deliver to?
It goes within it's kind of random, but it's a 9 mile radius.
Okay, so you can order it online like twice a week or whenever you want, actually, as long as you have food available. And it kind of gives people that are not sure what their schedule is and super busy more flexibility. So I love it. I mean, it's helped me out a lot too. Sometimes I don't know if I'm going to need it at the end of the week, but I definitely can get it at the beginning of the week. So I'm not wasting food if I've, you know, so like some of these other meal plans like force like have you a whole week of food there for you.
Right.
Yes, and your ingredients are fresh. I love it. It's great. Okay, so what's the biggest challenges you faced like starting out, and how did you overcome it?
The hardest challenge was, I guess, like getting up and running, because at the beginning, the owner's doing everything. So it's like 15 different caps that you're wearing, and you have to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. It's exhausting. Like I would go nonstop, 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week. And then it was like every 3.5, 4 weeks, I would crash and I would literally sleep for like 20 hours. And then I'd like start all over again. And hopefully everybody was still there after the 20 hours of sleep.
Right.
Right now, it's just like, and then like within the second and third year, it's sacrifices, like you just miss a lot of important stuff in life, like birthdays and weddings and I mean everything, because everyone's back home in Chicago. So that was really hard to deal with, and just, to
Right.
stay focused, because you're doing everything. And if you stop, then you get behind. And if you get behind, like coming back up to speed is extremely hard. So the
Right.
year 4 has been a lot better, and now I'm learning how to hand over tasks. So,
Oh,
which
there
is
you go.
nice.
Delegating is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
important skill to learn.
Mhm.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you started like right after COVID or during COVID?
Oh, right at COVID. June
Yeah.
2020, we opened up the doors. We were supposed to open in February 2020.
Okay.
I mean, I just kind of like hit the ground running, and I honestly don't even remember like COVID happening, because I was like, I just had to make it happen. We opened the
Right.
doors and we had to have sales start coming in. So, I mean, a lot of people came in because they couldn't go out to eat,
And pick up the food. Yeah.
or they didn't want to go out. And so it kind of worked. I feel like it kind of worked in our favor, to be honest.
Have you always been in the same location? I found you about a year ago now, I think.
Yeah. So I started with like a very small smoothie spot in
Okay.
Beverly Hills. It was like a friend of
Okay.
a friend who had a gym. They had a little smoothie spot. It was like literally 5 feet by 5 feet. And I started there just to figure out like how to hire employees and how to deal with employees and how to run a business. But we were only there for a couple months while Fuel Bar Costa Mesa was getting open, and we were getting the permits, and we were setting up the store and getting all the equipment delivered and stuff like that. So
Can you talk a little bit about like permitting and, the regulatory state of running your own business? Has that been difficult, or do you think it's relatively easy to get your license and go through the process?
So the permit for the city is not too bad, but when you start working with the health department, it's very tricky. A big reason why I have not moved to a new location, which because I'm looking for a place where that'll actually have a kitchen. It's a lot to do with having to get another health permit.
Okay.
There's a lot of regulations for opening up stores, like things you wouldn't even think about. And it's very hard to find what specifically you need to do or what you need during construction. before you even get there, and then you have to have the official come in and actually look at the store, and then they get 6 weeks to review it. I mean, it go months and months go by, and you're
Wow.
paying for rent, you're paying for employees, you're paying for everything, and there's no sales coming in until they give the stamp of approval. So yeah, from that perspective, it's a little tricky, and it's very pricey. For Fuel Bar, I ended up hiring like a project manager, and he was actually retired.
Oh,
And I like I said, please, this is my first place. I have no idea what I was doing, and he helped out a lot with the submittal to the city and everything.
okay, good. I'm curious about that. Do you think there's anything that would make the process smoother with like the city or the regulatory state of following the rules for opening a business where you're serving people food or they're picking up food, I should
I
say?
just, if it was a little bit more transparent on things you needed, a lot of the time you ask them and, they're like, well, it's not very black and white. There's a lot of gray area to it. It makes things very tricky. I mean, when you go to the health department, it's like going to the dentist.
Right. Right.
So,
I can imagine it. How does the Orange County Health Department play in the business?
so they have to approve your location, and there's very specific rules on what you serve, what you can and can't serve, and your labeling, which is all good, to make sure that, whoever is trying to open up a food business, that they're following, guidelines and things like that. It's very hard to find online. I found out, I remember I was in the health department almost every day when I was opening up a Fuel
Okay.
Bar. It's a little stressful. They have online stuff, but it's not very clear, like it's kind of
Right.
like if they had like maybe different, if you're opening up a restaurant or if you're serving like smoothies, like it'd be nice to have guidelines of some sort, but
Right. Interesting. Okay. So you had to overcome that part, making sure you were compliant and following the rules. Let's go to your customers. So like, how do you decide what ingredients to use in like meals to make every week? Because you change it. It's not the same food every week.
right, right. Yeah, I guess just honing back on like the sourcing, and that I have a very sensitive stomach, and if I can't eat it, I'm not going to serve it. There's like a lot of movies out right now, or documentaries on how farming is, and how regulations only start after, the animal is sent for processing, and no regulations like prior to, the whole life of the animal. So I feel like that's like a huge part on why, people deal with obesity and other problems. So I was very adamant about like
Okay.
making sure where the meat came from, where the poultry came from, where the beef came from, visiting the farm, just feeling good about what I was serving.
Right.
And then we follow a paleo diet. It's all the everything's wholesome, not processed. So that also helps with digestion and a lot of other diseases that kind of came about the past
Right.
like 10 years. So
I know we've had the highest incidence of autoimmune issues in the world in the United States, I guess, in the last like decade,
yeah.
which is insane. It has to be because of the food. When you create your menu, do you take any feedback from your customers or what kind of
Yeah.
input do you have?
Every week.
Every week, like, okay,
Every week
okay.
I'm asking them how they like the food. I'm always very like it. That was another hard part to get over, because people call me, like they'll say, "Oh, chef," and I'm like, I'm not a chef. Like I learned how to cook. I didn't go to school for it, and I appreciate culinary school and chefs out there. I'm just all about like the sourcing. Like I try to make sure it tastes good. I'm always asking clients, did you like the new dish, or do you want to see
Yeah.
something again, or like, how are you guys feeling this week? Do you want something light? Should I do a salad? Where I get my eggs from, Angelo Farms. Tony, he like hand delivers his eggs,
Wow.
and he also has a fruit farm, which the chickens eat like all the fruit. He's always given me like fruit. Like we had like the apricot chicken. That was because he said he had 30 pounds of apricots in his truck. So I took them and we boiled them down and mixed it into the chicken. So
Amazing. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't think people realize like the food comes from the farms, people grow it and the way the food is grown and the way the animals are treated. And then the whole process is quite a production to get to your door and then the food prepared and cooked. I mean, amazing that actually know the farmers and what they're doing and how they're getting the food to you. Can you walk us through the process of like how you prepare the meals? What's the meal planning process to delivery?
Yeah, so we start making the menu for the following week on Monday. So today we made the menu for next week.
Okay.
And tomorrow we cook again. So we have two menus kind of like going all the same process, you know. I have one team that focuses on what's going to be cooked tomorrow, and then I have one team that's focusing on that's what's going to be cooked next week. So then I put my meat delivery in. We usually get it delivered by Friday so that it's fresh because then it's cooked on, Sunday morning.
Okay.
But usually we're making like burgers and meatballs and stuff like that. So we need it, a day or two ahead of time. The produce is literally delivered the day before, so it's fresh. And I think that's why a lot of people, enjoy Fuel Bar meals. I try to make it look, I try to make it as fresh as possible, and that's why we also cook twice a week, so you're getting, something that was cooked like, yeah, that day or the day before.
Right.
And then, I mean, we have a team that comes in on Friday, they do all the chopping and then prepping, we do sauces, and then Saturday is my day off.
There you go. You get to relax on Saturday, which
And
you
then
deserve.
Sunday is my Monday.
Yes, there you go. What strategies have you used to like attract and retain clients and customers?
I think they like it that I, always keep them in the loop. I try to be pretty open about communication, and then I value their opinion. I'm always asking them what they want to eat next week or if they have any suggestions. And I think that they like that we're very personable at the shop. I mean, so everyone knows everyone. It's like, it's going to like almost like, someone's family room and hanging out.
Yes, I agree.
So
Very friendly.
everyone knows
You have your
everyone.
dog. Your dog is sometimes there.
And dude, yeah.
How would you differentiate Fuel Bar from like the other meal prep companies? I know you spoke a little bit in the beginning about that, but why?
Yeah.
How would you say you're different than some of the ones that are being delivered to people's doors for like the whole week?
Right now, we don't really have a competitor that's actually doing grass-fed, pasture-raised meats. I think right there, it's important. And then also that we deliver twice a week.
Okay.
And that also that the store has like a grab and go section. So if you just want to come grab one lunch, you can. And a lot of meal prep companies are online, so you don't really get like a personable approach. And I get a lot of people that come and they're coming from the doctor and they're saying to eliminate this or eliminate that. A lot of problems come straight from the dairy and the gluten. So we're a dairy and gluten-free shop, so I think that helps too, and
Yeah,
it kind of
huge.
comforts people because I think they're a little overwhelmed sometimes when they come in that they have to like completely change their diet.
Right. It's definitely a thing the doctor's like, remove gluten, remove this, do that. And
Right.
oh no, and there's so much ingredients and all the food that's on at the grocery stores that a lot of people don't even know what they're eating. So you said recently you're learning how to delegate tasks, which I have a hard time doing and
Yeah.
I'm trying to do as well. So how are you doing that? How are you building out your team to try to start delegating? Is it easy to find people or what's the workforce out there?
It was pretty bad.
Okay.
A lot of people did not want to work for a while during COVID, especially because they were getting paid to stay home.
Right, right.
That was hard. But now they're starting to realize that they want to get out there and want to work and want to be social. That was the other thing too. A lot of them, the kids that work at the store are 18, 19, 20.
Love it.
They're trying to like still find themselves and stuff, but I've made it like kind of really a focal point that I find their strength and encourage them to, you know, keep at it and keep doing that because a lot of them are kind of lost from not going to college or not knowing what they were supposed to do,
Right,
during COVID. So, I'm just trying to like point out to them like, hey, you're really good at this. Maybe you can work on this, and I
right.
think they appreciate that. We have a pretty good team, and I feel like everybody, they one of them just told me the other day how much they love working there. So that's really
That-
important to me. So
That's great. I think
yeah.
there's definitely a sense of community when when I come in to pick up my food, and that's wonderful. So what's your like vision for the next 3 to 5 years? Do you think you'll like scale, expand?
Yeah, I've been really like thinking about the future, right? Yeah, it's 4 years. I think I've proven that this concept works, that we can like it can grow. And we have like kind of all the groundwork done, like the recipe cards and stuff like that. I did talk to a guy about franchising. I
Oh,
think, yeah, I he reached out to me, so I think there is going to be a wave of like healthier fast food. I mean, there is healthy fast food right now, but it's still not that healthy. It's
right,
still kind of following the American standards of the bigger the better, the more sauces, you know.
right.
So, they take a salad and somehow make it not healthy, and then you have a stomach ache. I don't know, we'll see. I would like another location. The businesses that I look up to are like Sidecar and Jan's.
Oh
I
yeah, okay.
think they're I
So
mean,
sidecars,
Sidecar's
donuts.
donuts, but like they just
Yeah,
have like a really good business model, and I feel like just it's just like a solid company, and it's like comforting walking in and being there, and even though you're eating a donut, like it's just I don't know, the whole company is just like very it's just comforting. I don't know how to explain
right.
it.
Okay, so yeah, you like their ambiance and like
Yeah.
obviously their product is great. The donut
Yeah.
is amazing. So okay. And there is Jan's too, which is a little, it's not meal prep, it's a little bit
It's
more,
not, but it's kind of
but
like it's simple and it's kind of on the go, and I just like how the handful of locations they have. It's not like it's just a couple. It's not too
right,
many, but
right.
they're in all like kind of the major cities in Southern California. So,
Do you think there's any like trends on the healthy eating coming down the road here or that we're gonna see?
I mean, I really hope that more pasture-raised chicken is available, like
Okay,
actual pasture-raised chicken. We used to serve pasture bird chicken. They were in Southern California, but I was lucky enough to meet the owners. I actually went to their farm, and their whole main goal was to have pasture-raised chicken available to the masses.
okay,
So they stopped doing wholesale because they wanted to focus on getting like pasture bird chicken into like Sprouts and grocery stores and stuff like that. So I hope that keeps moving forward. I see more and more companies that are like, shipping out meats and stuff like that. I mean, that was the whole end game of Fuel Bar is just to like have healthy more readily available.
options.
Yeah.
How do you know, like, how does someone know, let's just say they weren't ordering Fuel Bar, how do you know what you're putting in your body? Like you're getting at the grocery store. You don't really know based
I
off the,
mean, it's kind of what everybody posts, right? Like flip the bag over and look at the ingredients.
right,
A lot of the packaging is deceiving too, because it's
right,
like bright and like colored and like, oh, this is healthy, but it's really the proof is in the ingredients.
right. What kind of advice would you give to someone that wants to start their own business?
I would say if you love doing it, it'll work. I mean, that's literally what's gotten me through these 4 years. When the times that I want to give up, even like today, I had a customer come in, and I was not. It wasn't like I was down or anything, but like it's like somebody came and told him, "Hey, go tell Melissa she's doing a good job." But he just like came in and he was like, "I just want to let you know that your chimichurri chicken was out of this world, and I am so thankful for you, and I felt so amazing after I ate it." I
Oh,
just out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh my God, yes, let's do this."
yes. No, it's true. I have like a lot more energy during the week when I'm eating your meals than if I'm eating, out. So
That yeah, and that
yeah,
makes
it's
me that makes
crazy.
me it
Yeah.
makes me feel so happy, like it really does.
Because that's the goal. Okay, so what do you think would be your like just something that you might do differently if you had to redo it again?
It would have been nice to have a mentor.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, because sometimes you're just like pinned up against a wall, and it's like you just or maybe not even someone to tell you what to do, but just someone that you can like vent to or like say what's on your mind. I've used like, like a couple of my friends have just kind of sat there and like heard me just talk, and they know like I'm just trying to get stuff out of my head, because like it's just like constantly going.
Right.
So
That would
um
have been helpful.
I think that would have been helpful. And I mean, yeah, back to the business plan, it would have been nice to like really sit down and take the time and like really plan things out. It's really hard to know if you don't really have it mapped out in your head yet.
Right.
It's
But now
hard
you
to
do.
like put
So
it on paper. But now
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, it's great. You never envisioned this was what you were going to do. It just kind of landed in
No,
your
yeah,
lap.
no,
Yeah.
yeah,
So based on that other job you had where they said, can you come up with a plan for us? So it's so interesting how your path took you down this road, and you're now a business owner and making, healthy meals that are ready to go. I mean, it's just so
yeah.
fascinating to
I would
me.
have
You
never
never
guessed
know.
this is what I would have been doing.
Wow, I love it. What would you do if like someone came in and said they want to, start franchising your operation?
We will see.
Yeah,
My main
yeah,
thing is you have to like the core values can't change.
right.
And the core values are the sourcing.
Right. And it's expensive, right? To get good quality food and make sure
It
all the
is.
stuff
It
is
is.
good. Yeah.
And yeah, your margins are not going to be as much.
Right.
So it is what
Right.
it is, but
Hmm.
I'm not in it for like,
Yeah. Well, I have a question about snacking actually. And then,
yeah.
so what do you think? Do you think snacking is healthy? I'm
I'm
just
a
kidding.
graze eater.
Snacks are so good.
I mean, since I've been like, I turned up working out to like 3 times a week, I feel
Okay.
like I've been like being able to like finish a meal, but I have to eat in between.
Right. Yeah, because you get
And
hungry.
I think, I mean, like the advice that like my trainers have given me, like it's always good to, and what I tell, I try to listen to everybody that's in the industry, right? The health industry, because there's a lot of people that are full of so much knowledge and they know what they're doing. I mean, me, I can give you a healthy product and I can make you feel good after you eat it, but like, they say you don't want to be hungry and you don't
Yeah.
want to be full.
Right. Okay.
So don't overeat. That's how meal prep comes in, because it's already portioned.
Right. It's so nice. You've got it portioned out. You know what you're eating, you know your calories. If you're
Hmm.
working out and you're counting your calories, you have an idea and you don't have to think about it. It's great.
Yeah.
And
And
you're
you're
not
not
like,
going to go back for seconds because you didn't make it.
right. Correct. It's not there.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So, well, I think it's exciting. I think that, I could totally see this scaling, and it's not only is it healthy for you, but it also helps people that are really busy with, families and working, save time, and it's a
Yeah.
healthy option for the whole family to, eat and feel good. And I don't know, I just love hearing about entrepreneurs and business owners like you, because you made a difference in my life. And I know that I hope other people, pursue being business owners when they have ideas, because it just makes everything better and the standard go up. And we definitely have a health crisis in this country where
Yeah.
people don't feel good and aren't eating right. So
Right.
if no one's been to Fuel Bar who's listening, they should go check it out. And to that point, how many more like customers can you have a lot? How many more can you
Yeah.
guys handle? Will you guys just grow if you get a lot of customers, or
So I haven't done any marketing for Fuel Bar.
okay, all board of mouth.
So we're going to start.
Okay.
Because yeah, the team they're definitely getting hungry for more business. They want to be busier.
Okay, great. Well, I give it 110% recommendation. It's amazing. And is there anything else you'd like to share with everybody?
If you're not eating my meals, you should at least eat something healthy and take care of yourself,
Okay, I like it.
because longevity is important.
Yeah, yes. Especially now since we're living to like 100. So,
Right.
well, thank you, Melissa. This is great,
Thank
and I hope
you.
that I see you again soon here.
Yes.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to the Business Talk podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us grow and improve.
Thank you for joining us today. This has been another episode of Business Talk with Meghan McNulty.